Hi. Hope you're well. Hope you're swell. Hope you're wavy. You're doing good. You're doing great. Doing phone coffee. Hope you're doing great. I was talking to someone the other day. I was thinking about school discipline. Discipline in school. This person was talking about how she witnessed teachers get jumped by students. And this person goes to, well, this was years ago, of course. This person, this is like California. So, I'm not trying to throw shade. I do think it depends on where you're at in California, probably. Every place is different. I live in South Africa, so there's definitely some rough schools out here as well. But I went to a boys' school, all boys. The culture was very different. Strong emphasis on discipline, holding each other accountable, and there was like a structure they'd set up where the senior students kind of help enforce the discipline as well. So you got your matrics, which you got 12th graders, seniors, and then the grade 11s and the grade 10s, and so on and so forth. And everyone respects everyone else who's above them in terms of grade, right? And then obviously you have the teachers as well. And then the prefects, who are the 12th graders, the 12th graders pick a few amongst them who become prefects, I think 16 or something like that. From that group, become prefects. And yeah, you didn't want to mess with these people, man. You didn't want any smoke with them. They'll make your life hell. They used to have a prefect's room. They would have a room dedicated to them. They just hang out there during breaks, and you did not want to get called into the prefect's room at home. They'd lock that door, and I don't know if they'd beat you up, but they can make you do push-ups until you're sick. They can do all sorts of things. I never got called into the prefect's room. I was a quiet kid, minded my business. I never really got into that much trouble. I only had detention once. In my entire high school career, I only got into detention once, and that was because I didn't complete homework or something like that. I can't remember what it was, something stupid. And I got thrown into detention, and we had to write out lines from the code of conduct. And it was actually it was not only excruciating because it was boring, but it was like your hand gets tired. Your hand gets really tired after a while, but you're not allowed to stop writing. And I was just writing lines. Like, when is this going to end? It wasn't ending. It was never ending. You eventually it ended, and I was like, yeah, this is whack. I'm not doing this again. But yeah, that was the only time I ever like been in any trouble in school. But yeah, some guys, oof. We had a teacher. He's a martial arts champion. His name was Andrew Funzel. His nickname was One Gear because all these cage fighters they have nicknames. So his name was Andrew One Gear Funzel, and he's like the African champion. It's insane to think about. I think we took it for granted at the time. But he's like, yeah, he's really good at mixed martial arts. I think he's only lost one fight in his entire career, if I'm not mistaken. You can watch him on YouTube right now if you want. He's part of the EFC, which is different from the UFC. The EFC is, I don't know if it's under the umbrella of the UFC. I'm not sure if the two organizations are related. But here in on the African continent, there's the EFC, which is different from the UFC. But I know that the UFC is trying to make inroads here as well. I know they're trying to have competitions here, and I think they're starting either in South Africa or they're starting in Nigeria, one of the two. They're like having a big event. I think it would make sense for them to come this side because the champion, Dricus Duplessis, is he light heavyweight champion or middleweight? I'm not sure what he is. But he's from South Africa, he has the belt. I think it would make sense for them to come here. We'll see who they end up going to, who they end up choosing to have the event. But yeah, Mr. Funzel, he was our teacher. I don't know if I should... Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big deal for him, but if I talk about some of his antics when he was teaching us, because it's so long ago, and yeah, I don't think it's a big deal, and if in the 1% chance it becomes a big deal, I'm only joking, wink, 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 I'm only joking, wink, 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 wink. But yeah, he was a character, man. I'll just first of all start off by saying that this concept of jumping a teacher and robbing them or beating them up in my school, in the school I went to, is outlandish. It would never happen because you die. They'll kill you. These are strong men, and you know it's an all boys school, so you kind of have to be someone that's unfuckwittable. Because if they smell weakness, oh my gosh, you're going to be in for a wild ride. You're not going to enjoy coming to work. If they smell weakness on you, it's an entire school of young men full of testosterone and mischief. They will ruin your day if you try to show up. I'm not prepared. Obviously, look, let me not exaggerate. Because there was a good structure of discipline. If the male staff, for example, find out that you are giving grief to the female staff, they'll get angry and they'll sort you out. Well, okay, look, I don't know how true that is because there was a case where I'm not sure how it happened. I think this woman had she had a dildo in her drawer. One of the teachers. I'm not sure if it was hers or I think it was hers. Somehow the students had discovered it. Some guys had discovered it, and they took it out and left it on her desk just to show her that we know about it, and we just want to let you know that we know what you're up to. And she was humiliated, and she was crying. It was like, oh my gosh, dude, it was crazy. I'm not sure who got in trouble for that. I'm not sure what actions were taken. But it's like, it's a boys' school, like, you know? People roll their eyes at this, but boys will be boys, you know? Like, you have to be prepared, man. You can't just walk in thinking it's going to be sweet. You can't bring a dildo to work, are you kidding me? You're setting yourself up for failing. That's a... Why would you bring a dildo to work? Oh, you. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's her fault. That's her fault. Classroom full of kids, 16-year-old boys. Like, what did you think was gonna happen if they found out? So they're just gonna let that slide. No, let that slide is a crazy misuse of words in that context. Oof. Anyway. They made teachers cry, man. Like, especially the female staff, the female teachers, they used to cry. I can think of four female teachers who cried, maybe five. I think it might be five actually, who cried because it was rough in those streets, man. I'm sure they all cried at some point because there was some. By the time I got there, by the time I was in high school in 8th grade, like there were some that were seasoned, very calm, very collected. They didn't take any nonsense, and they commanded respect. But how long did it take them to get to that point? I think they were broken in. I think it took some time to really like develop a backbone and that attitude of like, I'm not here for your crap. If you mess with me, you'll regret it. But it takes a special character to get to that point because most people just quit, They don't sit around and stick around for that. They just quit. So yeah, like it was crazy, man. It was crazy. But even with the male staff, there was, sometimes you get one guy that's like, he tries to be assertive, he tries to put his foot down, but people just aren't buying it. They're like, you're not that guy. You're not that guy. We can smell the weakness, and then they take the piss anyway. The one teacher, he had a dusty car. So some of the boys, they went to his car and drew a big penis on his windshield because it was really dusty. So they just drew a penis with their fingers, and it was such a big thing. He tried so hard to find the culprits. I don't know if he actually did, but I just remember him asking, "Who did this? Who did this?" And he was so angry. People were just laughing, dude. I don't know who did it. I think it was someone in my grade too. My grade was unruly. We were a bunch of scoundrels. We were a bunch of miscreants, dude. Just unruly bastards. The one guy got caught getting some cheeks in the hall, which is like, our school is like very traditional. So like the hall is a sacred place. You can't be smacking booty in the school hall. It's ridiculous. It's like, what? So he got in serious trouble for that. I never know the details of how these guys get punished. You just see someone, you just hear that someone got dragged away, and that's that on that. Whatever happened is between them and the person that was disciplining them. I don't know. But our school is crazy. Like in terms of the discipline, sometimes they'll go overboard. We were in the news several times. My school in particular. I guess you can Google it if you want. Should I say? Yeah, I don't see the problem with saying it. But I went to Parktown Boys in Johannesburg, South Africa. And it was a wild ride. Things got better by the time I entered the school. Things had calmed down somewhat, and it would only get more tame from that point onwards. But I would hear stories from people who came before me, because you had people in higher grades than you that have been around longer, and they'll tell you stories of things they saw and witnessed, especially like our matrics, our seniors, our grade 12s. the stories they had to share were insane, man. The things they were subjected to back then when they were in high school, you could straight up hit the kids if you wanted to. Really, they had a head boy. His name was Kaiser, and he was a menace, dude. He was in the news. He made the news because he was very violent, and he'd kick kids downstairs and swing cricket bats at their crotch. I don't know if you know what a cricket bat is, because in America, you know, cricket's not that big that side. Let me Google cricket bat images. Tap on this. This is a cricket bat. Damn. It's very big. It doesn't look that big, but it's very big. It's like, it's quite wide. It's like this wide. And it's very long. It's very long. And he would swing that at the crotches of young boys for as punishment for whatever, I don't know what. All sorts of outlandish things used to happen, man. So he made the news, and the school was getting so much bad press that they had to kind of clamp down on some of the practices of discipline. And so, you know, it got softer and softer over time, which I guess I'm grateful for. I don't know if I wanted to be subjected to some of the things I was hearing about, like, oh, the stories these guys have to tell. Oh my God, you're like, damn. And you know, it was kind of trash for me, so I can't imagine how bad it was for them when they were my age during that time in the 8th grade. I can't imagine how bad. I remember, like, I used to do this sport called rowing, and I was at a rowing camp, and that camp was so rough, man. And we had this senior. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was an asshole. Oh my God, that guy. You can tell when someone's having a power trip. You can tell when someone's like gotten into a position of authority and they just want to abuse it. He was one of those people. You know, like bad cops that just they catch you at a traffic stop and they just unnecessarily mean, and they're just taking advantage of their power. He was one of those guys. He made us do knuckle push-ups on concrete until our knuckles were bleeding, like literally. That's what happened to me. And you know, you do push-ups until your arms get tired, and then you start falling down. You can't do anymore. So when he sees you can't, so he says you have to do like a certain amount, and if you fall, you're going to start. Everyone is going to start again. So I was out here like looking at these guys who were falling. I'm like, guys, please don't fall. Like, let's just get through it and then we can stop. And he lost his mind. He told me to shut up and da-da-da-da. Bro, I was like, man, this guy's an asshole. Damn. And I remember my knuckles were bleeding, bro, because it's concrete. You can't do knuckle push-ups on concrete. It was rough, man. It was a rough. So, like, this was like 8th grade. I was just imagining how much worse was it for his generation, because he's doing what was done to him. He's just like, oh, it was done to me, therefore I have to do it to other people. That was kind of his attitude, I guess. But I would imagine that they used to do a lot more than just that, because there's a lot of things that they wanted to do that they couldn't get away with. So, you know, because again, we had so much negative press around the school that we had to kind of like calm down a little bit. But you know, the one time I remember we made the news again, my grade, because we were being punished for something. I can't remember what it was, but we were being forced to run around one of the fields. We had these big rugby fields, right? Because rugby is a big sport in our country. So a lot of these boys' schools have like several rugby fields and all these sort of things. But anyway, so we were running around the rugby field, and it wasn't just a rugby field. It was a big field. It wasn't just youth rugby. It was a massive field, and you had to run around the whole thing multiple times until they told you to stop, and they weren't telling us to stop. So we were just running. One kid just passed out and just fell unconscious. He was overweight as well. He just passed out because they were pushing him too hard, and you had to go to the hospital, I think. We were on the radio. We were on 94.7, which I think is like the biggest radio station in the country. And they were just talking about that. And yeah, he left the school. He never came back. He actually went to my church, so I'd see him from time to time. He went to the moistest high school, dude. He went to this other high school called Greenside. That high school is so pussy, bro. I'm not... Oh, man. But hey, like, it's not for everyone. That experience is not for everyone, man. It's tough. It's hard. And here's my thing, right? Even though it was like really crazy and difficult and just straight up like terrible at some points, it's still funny because you're having these experiences with your friends, and it just it builds like strong bonds between people that are suffering together, and some of the situations were genuinely funny. Like, even though it was hell, dude, when you look back, you're like, that was actually kind of hilarious. But I you know what? Let me say that some of the things they put us through were unnecessary. They were not necessary, and it caused a lot of unnecessary problems. I think we made the news again because we have the initiation. You get initiated into the school through various ridiculous, I don't know, call them rituals, but you know, like just things they do to you to say welcome to the school. For example, you have to carry around a board. Like they call you a formie, a Form 1. Form 1 is grade 8. They call you a formie if you're new to the school, and you have a board that you tie around your neck, and it has your details on it, who you are, what house you're proud of. Our school had houses, like if you have a sister, you have to put your sister's number on there. That was a real thing, and her picture. You put your sister's picture and her number. Luckily, I didn't have a sister. I have a half sister, but I didn't even know that at the time. I met her later in life. We don't even live near each other anyway. So, but I didn't have a sister, so I didn't put her number in. You could lie. I think some people did lie, but if they found out that you have a sister, so it's, for example, if you get picked up by your parents and they see your sister or something like that, or they can just ask certain people. So there's ways for them to find out. If they found out that you have a sister, you get in so much trouble for lying. So some people just did it, and then it was so terrible. You have these seniors hooking up with your sister. Yeah, that was a terrible practice. That was one thing that I'm glad got put to an end. That was crazy. If I had a sister, I would never in a million years put a number on that board. I'll be subjected to whatever cruel and unusual punishment they want to put me through before I give up my sister. No ways. But yeah, you had to carry on bricks as well. Like, you had to get a brick and paint it. It'd be your pet dog. You had to put googly eyes on it. You had to name it. And you'd be forced to carry it around with you everywhere. If you were caught without your pet dog, you'd be in serious trouble. And they'd have dog fights. You could get caught. Like, so if the seniors see you at any random point, you can be just... They can call you and another formie, another grade 8, and say, dog fight. And you have to drop everything you're doing, take your bricks and throw them at each other. And the brick that breaks first loses and the other one wins. So that was a dog fight, and it was dangerous because you're throwing bricks at each other. So you do stuff like that. My dog, there's this very sad yellow brick. I painted it yellow, and no one really asked me to get into a dog fight. I don't think anyone cared. I don't think anyone particularly interested in seeing my dog get into a fight. Some people had very creative dogs. Some people would actually went out of their way to make their dogs look nice, and those were the ones that usually got called for dog fights. Mine didn't, and I was not sad about that at all. I did not want to get into any dog fights, and I wanted to stay out of the way. I think I skated under the radar for the most part. I didn't really get into that much trouble at all. with the seniors, and I just had that vibe of just leave him alone. Like, I just had that vibe. No one really wanted to pick on me or anything like that. Cause it's not like they pick on you because you're misbehaving. They can pick on you for no reason at all. But I think I was this quiet, innocent kid that was just leave him alone. You can go. It's not worth it. Like, I don't think they derive any pleasure from messing with me. Not that I was like I was scary or I was a threat or anything. I wasn't a threat. It's just literally just like, I don't think they felt that they would enjoy picking on me, so they didn't. I think the thing we made the news for was when they started tying people to poles with cling wrap. So you can so the issue is like you'll be walking. There's a tuck shop, which is like, we call it a tuck shop here, which is basically like a shop for food in the school, because you can bring your own lunch or you can go to the store. There's a shop where they sell hot meals and you can purchase lunch at the tuck shop. But to get there, you have to go through a bunch of seniors, and sometimes they can just stop you and ask you for money, or sometimes just randomly they'll stop you and just tie you to a pole. Literally, they'll get cling wrap and wrap you around the pole and just leave you there. So someone so it was a big scandal. Someone had taken pictures and leaked it to the media, and we ended up on the news again because it was just showing this kid tied to a pole. Like, look what they're doing. And yeah, it was a mess. So that they stopped doing that as well. They stopped tying people to poles, and they stopped asking people for money, taking kids' lunch money. So yeah, it was chaotic. We were in a hurry to get over with grade 8 because grade 8 was so chaotic. We were tired of getting picked on. Once you reach 9th grade, you start to relax. Like, but even 9th grade is, 9th grade is better than 8th grade. It's not as bad as 8th grade, to be honest. But 10th grade is when you really start to relax. That's when you really start to like, because you start getting respect, and that's when you qualify for first team sports. So like, if you're in 10th grade, you can be part of the first team of a particular sport. So the first team is like the best team of a particular sport in the school. So first team rugby, for example, will have 15 of the best rugby players in the school, period, and they compete like with other schools nationally. And it's from 10th grade upwards that you get selected for that. So 10th graders were respected. That was part of the reason. And you just qualify for things. And then I think it's only 11th grade and upwards that qualifies for colors. And colors is basically like, if you achieve really nicely in some particular field, so sports or academics, or we had what we called culturals, which is like things like chess, drama, public speaking, so on and so forth. If you achieve really well in one of those, in any of those things, you get awarded colors, which means your blazer that you wear, they'll give you like either a new blazer that's very cool and distinct from the normal one. We had like a standard black blazer. We had a standard black blazer, but then, for example, if you got full colors for sports, you'd have this silk blazer that had like white and red stripes. It looked cool. And half colors is basically the same standard black blazer, but with like red lining on the edges. Forgot what they call that lining, like the trimming or whatever, I don't know. It's like a little red lining on the edges on the outlining of the blazer. So that's half colors, and then full colors is just a whole new blazer. You have to buy the blazer, and then they can put badges for. So if you get full colors or half colors in in multiple sports, they put the badges on the blazer so people can see this person's very decorated and accomplished. It was very cool. It was very high honor. And then full colors for a cultural is just a red blazer, just full red. So the sports is like black and white, but the cultural ones, so like if you get colors in drama, public speaking, chess, there was some other ones as well. I can't remember what the other cultures were. We had several, but those are the ones I remember off the top of my head. It's a long time ago. You get full colors for that. So red blazer. If you get half colors for that, it's like, so you get the same lining, but with the sports one, it's a solid red lining. With the cultural one, it's like braided black and white. I mean, not black and white. What am I saying? Black and red on the lining. So and it's like braided as well. So that's for the cultural one. Half colors, and then you can also get the little badges on your blazer, just listing which cultures you got colors for. And then academics, it was also the full red. And then for half colors for academics, it was also the braided black and white. So yeah, I got full colors twice for public speaking. I got full colors twice for public speaking. I never got the blazer. I did not care. I didn't want to wear that thing. I didn't give a fuck. I got called up multiple times. It was awkward the second time. The second time, because I won 2 years in a row, and the second time they called me up, it was awkward because I wasn't wearing the blazer from the previous year, and it was like, yeah, because everyone else had their blazers. Everyone else had their blazers on when they were going to, because usually the people that win are the ones that win again and again and again. So everyone else had their blazers on. I was the only one that just had I had the standard plain black blazer, and I went up to accept the award, and I was just like, I'm not wearing this. I didn't care. I was very like detached in high school. I did not give a damn. I was so far removed. I skipped so many days of school as well. I pushed the limits, man. I'm not sure how many days you have to miss before they make you repeat the grade, but I was close to that number. I was barely at school because I was just like, this is so boring. I did not show up. But yeah, it was an interesting experience. I liked it. The only thing I didn't like was the academic side of things. That was hell for me. I hated studying and the textbooks and all that stuff. It was so terrible for me. I really, really, really hated it. It was so bad. I wanted to drop out so badly. My mom wouldn't let me drop out, though. I skipped exams. I literally skipped exams. There'd be exams and I wouldn't show up. I'll just stay at home. Now, obviously, failed the exam because I didn't write it. I still passed, though. I don't know how. I still passed the year. And, yeah. God was kind to me. I was just, I should have been homeschooled, to be honest. I think if I'd been homeschooled, I would have done much better. I would have moved at my own pace and probably enjoyed school more. And I look back fondly at some of these things now, but at the time it was so chaotic and stressful. But now that I look back, I'm kind of glad I had those experiences. It shapes you. It shapes you and it makes you strong. Because the whole goal of that school is to build men who are like, who can take on the real world and then survive the real world. So we got prepared for so much, man. Versus if you went to a school where they constantly coddled you and catered to your feelings, it might produce very, very soft individuals who can't handle the real world. They get into the real world and they realize people are mean, and they break down. They lose their shit. They were cruel to us as soon as we hit the ground, like they just threw everything they had at us. And yeah, some people dropped out, but most didn't, because the education was good, and the parents were like, "Nah, you're gonna stay in this school," because the alternatives, you could go to some co-ed school with boys and girls, and the rules aren't that strict. People are like fucking in the bathroom and taking drugs, all this sort of nonsense, going to parties, getting drunk. Well, every teenager goes through that. I didn't go through that, but most teenagers do, I guess. Parties and getting drunk and whatnot. But that's outside of school, not inside. You'd hear about things going on. Like, there was a particular school I really wanted to go to, Hyde Park. It's called Hyde Park High School, and I really wanted to go there because I wanted, like, the girls were pretty, and like, you'd hear about all the legendary parties, and it was in a nice neighborhood, and I just started dreaming. And it was cheaper than the school I ended up going to. It was cheaper, so I was like, "Mom, you can afford it. You pay less money if you just send me to Hyde Park," all these sort of things. She was like, "Nah, because you're going to end up being a delinquent. You're going to be a degenerate," because she's working full time. She gets home late. She can't. She wants to know that while she's not looking after us, while the school is looking after us, that we're being instilled with good values and all that sort of stuff. So she sent me and my brother to this boys' school that was very keen on discipline and this sort of thing. So yeah, we turned out okay. I'm kind of glad I didn't go to Hyde Park, because if I did, I don't know who I'd be right now. I have no idea how things would have turned out for me if I'd gone to that school. Oof. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest. I'd hear so many school stories, because they would make the news as well. They actually had a big scandal. Teachers doing inappropriate things with kids. They made the news for that. That was probably the biggest thing they made the news for. So, it's better than... Wow, by the time I had left Parktown, terrible news came out that at one of these camps, they would always take us to camps and stuff to toughen us up. Toughness. They'd take us to camp. I remember, like, just a quick story. I remember at our grade 8 camp, they'd wake us up at like 4 in the morning and make us run and do push-ups. And the one time we were like running, and then we had to go to this dam and like take mud off the ground and put it on our face, and then get around in a circle and do push-ups. And before we got done, and before we did the push-ups, we'd be standing in a circle, and the prefect, he gave us a speech. He was just talking about manhood and all these sort of things. And he made us hold our crotches, hold our dicks, and he was like, "That's what makes you a man." And then he told us to get down and do like, "Now get down and give me push-ups." And then we had to get down and give him push-ups. And if someone was falling down, you have to carry them on your shoulder. So if someone's doing push-ups but the arms are getting tight and they're about to fall, you have to like put them on your shoulder and lift them while you're doing push-ups. It was a mess. It was terrible. It was early in the morning, dude. You just want to go home, but you're far, far away from home. And I miss my dad. I miss my mom. It was rough. But so that same sort of camp, I found out after I graduated, they had that at camp again for the new set of grade 8s, and yeah, let's just say we made the news again. But this time it was tragic. Someone died. Someone perished. And yeah, people were like, yeah, they were like, "Cancel this school, yada yada yada, hashtag this, hashtag that." It was all over the news. It was terrible. I think the headmaster resigned. It was a mess, man. But the school is still kicking it, though. The school is still around. It seems like it's still doing well. I don't know. I haven't been there in a while, so it's hard to say how they're doing exactly. But they seem to be. Whenever I go on the Instagram and check, they seem to be doing okay. They seem to have recovered from that incident. But yeah, I'm sure some like extreme reform has to take place. So yeah, we had our fair share of tragedy. But anyway, let me know about your high school experience. I have more stories I could have told. Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely have stories I could have told, but oh my gosh, I have stories I could have told. But some of them, I don't think I should tell them on camera, just because I don't want to do that. I mean, I've already, yeah, but some things have to tell and stuff. But anyway, let me know if you made it to the end. Let me know if you made it to the end. What emoji should you drop if you made it to the end? Drop like, I don't know if there's a school emoji. Drop like a textbook emoji, like a book emoji, just to symbolize high school, learning, all that sort of stuff. Drop a book emoji if you made it all the way to the end, then I'll know that this person watched the whole video. If you know, like to pray, then it's all about thinking of individual watchers right now. Thank you for making them whole, unique, and guide on the path towards peace, prosperity, blessing this person with wonderful people in their life who love them, take care of them, and being the absolute best out of them. And thank you for maintaining the ones that are there to do the same thing. Thank you for blessing this person with love and marriage and sustaining that love and marriage and making them very, very, very happy. Thank you for blessing this person with a spirit of gratitude so you can give thanks for all the wonderful things in your life. And may given thanks they can find peace, contentment, and attract even more blessings. Let your presence be felt in this person's life so that let your God, the true God, your love, and marriage, and be there for them. Good health, long life, and happiness over this person, everyone who care about, and remind them, pray in Jesus' name, pray, amen, amen, amen.